Hello, my weird and wild friends on the interwebs. I got the new SquareOff Pro Rollable E chessboard. It's amazing. But I don't like the pieces. They say that they're triple weighted, but they're not. They just feel flimsy. So obviously, I want to change out the pieces. It's very easy to tell that they're magnetic. In fact, if you sit there and look, if I take a piece off, then it lights up that it's not there, but I can just put pieces. Well, now it thinks that I moved that, so okay. So if I do that and then I take the black queen and put it there, it doesn't know the difference, okay? So it's just a magnet in there, all right? Also, if you take the pieces, here, let me get my trusty little phone holder thingy. Also, if you take the pieces and you put them together, they repel each other. Every single piece does this, all right? So, I have an extra queen, extra thing of that nature, so I started trying to Dremel it, all this stuff, and I figured out the best way to get the magnet piece out without actually causing damage to the chess piece, and that is actually with heat. So if you take this little sticker thing off right there, there's another little plastic piece in here. It seems to be pressed in like a bearing. It's very hard to pop out. The only reason why it popped out that easy is because I've taken this piece apart several times. So whenever I initially went to take it off, I could not do that. Just pop it out that easily. So I figured out that if you take the piece and you boil some water, and I turned it off and I timed this, if you do it for like a minute and 20 seconds, it pops off pretty easy. But as we all remember from middle school, what happens when you heat a magnet? It loses magnetism. So, these pieces are very, very, like lightweight magnets, light magnetism. I don't know what you want to call it, okay? So you see this thing sits in there recessed. I don't know what the dimensions of that is. Let's say it's 10,000 millimeters. I don't know. Anyways, that's the magnet piece right there. So you can see it's very skinny. So if we come here, I don't know. How does that look? Is it? Okay, so you'll notice that whenever I take a piece off the board, it lights up. It's just saying, hey, there's no magnet there. If I just take this piece right here, and you've got to be, so there's a mark on it where that side needs to be down, all right? So if I put it on there, then it works. But if it's flipped wrong, it does not work. That kind of makes sense why they did this. The reason why is because if the pieces like if they don't repel each other, see how it repels? If they were trying to stick to each other, then you could make a move and the piece would try to stick to the other piece. So that makes sense. Why? I always wondered, like, why do all the pieces repel each other? But that kind of makes sense, okay? So I also want to, So let me make a, I'll tell you what, how do I get this piece off the board? Let me just move it forward. Maybe it'll be out of the, what the hell? Oh shit. I'm lined up, the black pieces are supposed to be here. Okay, so, all right, there we go. All right, so one of the things I want to take a look at, and this is my unscientific way of like gauging the strength of the magnet. So if I take this piece and I move it to the side, how close does it get to that line before the square doesn't register it anymore? And it gets pretty close. See what I'm saying? So that's a pretty weak magnet. But if I take if I take another piece and put it on there, and then I do that same moving over thing, now this is also, you know, this magnet in here is being blocked by that plastic piece and things like that. The whole reason why I'm doing this is because for some reason, if I take the piece, so I know that the marked side needs to be down, right? So I'm going to take it and I'm going to pop it into the piece that I took apart 17 times. Put this piece back in, just kind of pop it in, then put the other piece over the top of it. And as you see, it doesn't work. So what I'm thinking, the only thing that I can think of is the magnet that they use is like right on the edge of the board being able to register it. I think the board would rather not be able to register it than to be than the magnet be stronger and registering pieces around it. So I don't know if heating up the magnet caused it not to work, but if I pop this piece off again, and I pop it out, okay. So here's a piece that I have that's better, and they're weighted, and so they got a big steel weight in them, and I've scraped off the green stuff, right? So now notice this piece is just a steel piece, so this magnet will fit in either direction, okay? And the cool thing about it is it kind of holds the magnet on, okay? So we know that side's marked, so we put it on there. Now that piece works. So if you're not worried about saving the pieces, but you just want to get the magnetic disc out of the inside of the SquareOff pieces, I would just suggest cutting them open. Cutting them open, getting out the magnet piece, but then it seems like to me you have to be very, very careful with like the distance, how deep you put the piece in, because it pretty much needs to be like that deep and things of that nature. Because this piece right here, though, if you just take the magnet piece and just put it on the bottom of another piece, look how it, now it'll slide over a lot further before it, registers. I mean, to me, that's actually like, how many times do we put a piece down and we put it down like that? I mean, that's fine. But if you do that with the SquareOff board, it's gonna say, hey, move that piece back. Okay? So, I don't know. That's just what I've discovered so far with it. That's it. We're done. Merry Christmas, foos.